Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
What are you laughing at?
Nothing. No. I'm glad you got those awards. I don't know who the judges were, but
First of all, I got 8 awards.
He and Ellen, who does all the work,
Oh, you're
his
full
wife.
of crap.
Wait a second. He's got these
Books.
the books. No, what do they call them?
Collectibles books.
No, what do you put them on?
Caught your
Coffee
lap.
table books?
Table books.
Coffee table books.
Coffee
There
table
you go.
books. Yeah, and they're beautiful. He's done such a great job. But what awards? Where's the awards?
Excuse me.
I want to see the
7.
medals.
Paul, can you grab me a book right there?
Yeah, this is the only book that's sold.
First of all, hold on. First of all, we are thrilled and psyched that an old Boston, I'm going to call him a Boston legend. Plus, he's Italian.
Yes.
So, yeah. Oh, no legend.
Pete Sheppard.
Legends, that means you're old.
Pete Sheppard, formerly from WEEI, but now his morning drive show on the Coastal Sports Network in Florida is going great guns. Pete, how are you, brother?
Talented. That's
I'm
why.
great. You know, nationally in every single state. I think there's only one state we haven't been heard in 52 countries as of today. So
Fabulous.
Awesome,
Pete.
Pete.
That's great.
The only weakness I see in him is that he graduated from Bishop Hendricken. That's the only freaking weakness.
Do you know
Where's
how many
that?
do you know how many guys in all 4 major sports that we have in the pros right now, from Rocco Baldelli to Quiddy
Oh, I
Pay,
forgot about
Indianapolis?
Rocco. How can you forget?
Please.
I forgot about
the
Rocco.
list is it. Tristan Wirfs is one of the unbelievable. He's going to be a first-round pick from Georgia. He's that huge, gigantic 6'7" kid, 365-pound tackle. He's going to be a
Holy
#1
jeez.
pick.
All right,
What else we got?
so
Hockey
he's
players.
right.
Hockey
Glad
players.
they didn't play
It's unbelievable. Go Google Bishop Hendricken High School.
I'm waving the white flag.
Incredibly, they have me in there as some important person. There's governors and professional athletes and general managers.
Hey, Pete,
That's right. Hey.
about Bishop.
How about last year? How about last year in the NBA Finals? Mike Malone, also a Hendricken guy, going up against Joe Mazzulla, another Hendricken guy.
right. He's
Wow.
right.
Hey,
right.
He's
that
right.
is amazing.
It is amazing, but they shouldn't play. I have a problem with them playing in the interscholastic league with the other high schools because they can't compete.
Well, it's not that they win everything, but I mean, they also work pretty. I remember I was on the cross country team for. Let me tell you the differences. Cross country team I was on, we won every state basically champions. One time we lost the states and won the New Englands. And the thing is, every other school is running 3 miles a day. We used to run 12. 2 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And that's the. I mean, there's a
work
lot
harder.
of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it people don't see. Plus,
I believe it.
No, I believe it.
But it's all it's all good. I have a lot of
Right
tons
here.
of public school friends.
Right here.
There he is.
This Ben Franklin bronze medal. Ben Franklin.
Ben
He
Franklin.
came in 3rd in this one.
I did?
No.
He's the
well,
$100
you
bill
did.
guy.
Exactly. All right, listen. Steve is here. Paul is here. Pete is here.
You're
and,
here.
And I'm here. Rico's here. But now we're going to
Chrissy's
bring
here.
in
Hi, Chrissy.
one of our good
Hi.
friends from
Hello.
Clean Sweep Auctions and Leland's. And he's got a new company. Our good friend Steve Verkman. Steven, how are you, brother?
Steve, how you doing?
Hey, Steve.
Steve,
good.
before we start about your auction, what is the company's new name?
Well, actually, we're a part of the Collectors First Auction Group. So Clean Sweep Auctions stays as Clean Sweep Auctions, and Leland's stays at Leland's. The idea is we're looking to grow both brands. We're not looking to cut anything. We're looking to expand. And, we've been very, very busy. So, like, things that people would bring to Leland's that might not make the Leland's Classic auction are perfect for Clean Sweep.
Gotcha.
And then there's things that come to Clean Sweep, photography things, equipment, jerseys, and, other things that are perfect for Leland's. So, we think there really is a great opportunity to maximize results for our consigners by having, more auctions, more targeted auctions, and, just finding the right place for people's stuff.
Now you have a pretty significant auction going on right now. I was thumbing through it last night. Signed cards, man. Wow, signed cards have taken off like you wouldn't believe.
It's insane. I mean, they sell for more than on a baseball, on an 8x10. I mean, no one saw this coming. So yeah, we got a bunch of that stuff. Now this auction, just so people understand, I think we're the only people that in the hobby that run an auction like this. It's almost all things under $500. It's an affordable auction. There's 2,500 lots of just all kinds of collectibles, from cards to pennants to tickets to programs to yearbooks to jerseys to bats to a ton of signed baseballs.
200 signed baseballs.
No, more than that. There's probably 500 or 600 lots of signed baseballs. There's probably 100 lots of team balls.
Oh, you're kidding me.
That's wow.
Yeah, single signed balls. There's probably, there's a single signed ball. Yeah, there's about 400 signed baseballs.
Where do you get? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just thought came to my mind.
It's first time.
All right.
You
All
call me
right.
Rico.
See.
Go ahead.
Abuse.
I'm sorry.
No, I forgot. No. Where do you consign? Does your consigners come in your area or from all over? People who want to.
That's a great question. It's a mix. So we have people locally that'll bring in massive consignments, and we travel around the country to get things, and people send us stuff too. So we kind of, it's a little bit of everything.
Pete, do you collect? You're not a collector, are you, Pete?
No, I used to be. I gave a lot of my stuff away to charity, to be honest with you. I had a lot of signed baseballs over the years, a lot of signed cards. I had a Red Sox 75 card that was signed back in the day by Rico and a lot of other. I donated a lot of it to charity. I will say the Eckersley balls went for the most.
Yeah.
They got the biggest price at the time.
At the time, right?
Yeah. But I have my share of ticket stubs and press passes that I keep in the area.
Steve, the other thing I noticed, you've got a lot of card sets, graded and ungraded. That's become really, really popular.
When you say sets, you
like
mean
either
team,
complete sets
complete team,
or partial sets, right?
Yeah, just to make.
Yeah, we do a lot with that. Yeah, sets are always good. I mean, so many people now are buying things to sell on eBay like $1 and $5 at a time. So the market's changed. So things that used to not sell are now like gold. So the market's changed a lot with technology and everything. But yeah, sets are always good. People like them. They're always solid. We love dealing in sets. We have them like in this auction. There was a real nice guy from Illinois. We had some of his stuff in our last auction who bought from another really nice guy in Illinois stuff built from vending around 91 or 92. So there's some really, really sharp 70s sets in baseball, football, and basketball from that. And then they'll be in our next auction too. So those are really, really, really choice sets. He had that and a whole bunch of cool Michael Jordan stuff.
I do have a question. Another auctioneer recently, I think it's in his auction, somebody submitted 7 unopened Piedmont cigarette packages.
Wow.
From around 1910, 1911. There's no guarantees of a T206 being in those packs, though, correct?
I wouldn't think so. That's a hell of a risk to take to open that up. I mean, I once had a 52 tops pack. I mean, we were afraid to open it. Now, God knows what that's worth now. But
I know. I mean, that's Paul.
I had a 52 mantle too when I was a kid.
What happened to it?
What happened?
It's
It's in the Schwinn bike cut.
It's in his freaking bike.
Yeah, and then just the truth, the stories that you put them in a shoebox, and when you move, what's this? They throw them out.
My mother did the same thing.
That's what I mean.
I want to say, Steve, I love your auctions.
You just bought something.
I did. I bought something just recently, a Rose rookie and 64 Clemente. But I love looking through your auctions because there's everything from A to Z in it, and it's not just the high-end stuff. You can, like you said, I love. I look forward to you.
Well, you know something else. Plus, your auction, Steve, is a very easy auction to navigate through.
Yes.
Some of these auction houses, and look, I know some of them are $1 million, $2 million pieces, but the narratives for some of these, it's like reading War and Peace. You know what I mean? Yours is right to the point, small narratives, talks about the item, and you move on. I mean, that's what I like.
That's our philosophy, because I don't think anyone hardly anyone even reads those descriptions. I guess they do it to make the consignor feel better. And the thing about it is it's weird is you'll have these long descriptions that give you a headache, and they oftentimes don't even tell you about the condition of the item. It's like, I know Eddie Murray's a great player if I'm being on an Eddie Murray game he's bad. I don't need to know how many home runs he hit in 1983. That's not really important, but tell me about the bat. How used is it? What are the marks like? How long is it? So people, there's a lot of you could call it lazy writing. Like they just want to write to write, but it doesn't really enhance the item. And I don't think people actually, in most cases, even read it.
And I agree with you. So when does your auction end?
All right, so the auction ends on Wednesday and Thursday. It's a 2-day auction, so it ends on Wednesday, December 11th, and Thursday, December 12th. There's, the first 1,200 lots of the first day, and then the rest on the second day. So there's all sorts of cool stuff. You have to have your bids in by 8 o'clock Eastern time, and we're doing lot by lot ending starting at 12:30 Eastern.
A couple of pieces that I'm looking at myself.
Oh, sure.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of pieces. Some of those signed baseballs, man.
They're very nice.
Can you bid online? Can I ask you, can you bid
Oh,
online?
absolutely.
That's sweet.
Yeah, all you have to do is go to cleansweepauctions.com, cleansweepauctions.com. Steve, if we don't talk to you, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, all of that good stuff.
Kwanzaa.
Right. Yeah. And tell the guys at Leland's we're also wishing them a happy holiday. Do you you talk much?
Yeah, we're very close. Yeah, sure.
Hef's a great guy.
He is.
It's funny because I'm Facebook friends with his, and now all I see is Hef playing in the leaves with his kids. It's hysterical, absolutely hysterical. Yeah. All right, Stephen, we love you, and good luck with the auction.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Steve,
Have a great
take
holiday.
care.
Take care.
Take care.
Good guy.
Take care.
Good guy.
Very
Steve
good.
Verkman,
Great guy.
Clean Sweep Auctions.
The guys in this industry,
They're
the
really
auction-
good.
Really,
I'll tell you,
I
Pete.
mean,
You
I'm
got
not
to
just saying
Pete.
that.
It's amazing because obviously our biggest sponsors, besides the national and some of the big companies, are small, medium, and large.
That's where it's at.
Auction
houses. But it's amazing how they're all competitors, but they're all friendly competitors.
Yeah.
They kind of help each other, right?
It is kind of funny.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, Pete.
All right, let me ask you a question. We got a little bit of breaking news in the baseball world. The Red Sox have signed Aroldis Chapman to a 1-year, $10.75 million deal.
Who could live on that? Come on.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's think about this.
Chapman. He still throws 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, it helped the bullpen. The bullpen was 24th last year.
Yeah, they
He
stunk.
had a decent year in Pittsburgh. It's not the signing I'm waiting to hear for. Juan Soto's not coming.
No way.
Yeah, I don't
No
think he is
way.
either. But
He's going to the Mets.
But do you think they can land 2 frontline pitches?
No.
I don't know. They had the chance to get Snell. They let him go to the Dodgers. I just don't know. I don't trust this organization the way they're being run right now. I just don't. I believe it when I see it. Chapman's a nice little pickup for the bullpen. I mean,
Yeah.
Those are gazillion. Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah.
3.79 ERA, struck out 98, walked us 39, average fastball 98.
Well, he does throw hard
5
stuff.
miles
He throws
an hour.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he still throws
they're
hard.
hitting him a little bit more, but he's still, decent.
I guess it's a start.
All right. I
my
got
God.
Pete. I got to ask the question. Let's get back
Yeah.
to the WEEI days.
Could you explain to the people that
Yes, Pete started.
Millions-
Basically, you started.
millions of fans out there?
You started with WEEI, who was at the time #1 in the market, I believe. Correct?
Well, not at the time. I mean, you got to remember, I got there in '95, so they came on the year in '91, and I was still living out in northern Worcester County area, working my way up. Moved there from Rhode Island in 1989 or 90, and then I just basically got in my car one day and drove to the studios, and it was the end of night, the beginning. It was spring. It was like spring training in '95, and I basically just walked in with my resume and tape and said, "I'm not leaving." Until I see somebody in charge. And it happened to be the day that EEI, I think at the time was CBS Company. Anyways, the time they went full expansion. Remember, they were in the Schrafft's building in Charleston,
Yeah.
in that dinky building. And
Yeah.
then when they hired me, they just moved to Huntington Avenue. So that was like a big, and then they expanded everything, Glenn.
But you really.
I came on the scene in '95 as a weekend guy at
Right.
first, with myself and John Wallach, who's now at 95 the Sports Hub.
Yeah.
But I was basically working 7 days a week. I was doing flashes during the week for the midday show, which was Eddie and Dale at the time, the A-Team. Then I had my own show with John on Saturdays and Sundays, so I was working 7 days a week. And then John Grandy left in '99.
Yeah.
Become the TV play-by-play voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Glenn and Jason Wolf at the time called me and they said, "Look, we're going to get tons of applications for this, but you're going to be the guy. We love what you're doing on weekends." And that's how it happened. And then,
Well, you know something, man.
Yeah,
But
that's great.
you really
Yeah.
you went from doing what you just talked about to being arguably the most popular guy on.
Well, let me.
People
Paul,
just
everybody
love
loved
it.
it.
You were
guys-
unfiltered. You were unfiltered, which was good. But you were also funny as hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic.
Let's try to be. But I better remember, I started at in the smallest state in Rhode Island at the smallest station. You probably don't remember this, Paul. I worked. My first job in 1987 or 88 was at WKFD. Was in Wickford, Rhode Island.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and guess who owned the station at the time? Paul Borges, he still might be an engineer at WBZ Radio
Wow.
and TV. But you know who his wife was? Station, and she was a sweetheart. She's still on TV today.
Who?
I believe. Patrice Wood.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
By the way,
Nice.
I don't know if I should say that, but Patrice's real name is Holly. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. No, I'm not kidding. It is.
All right. I'm going to ask a question, Pete.
And she got in trouble. She came in and did a new. Now it was a 500-watt radio station that went down to 150 watts at night when the sun went down.
That was like CCM.
No, but it's like you could have had 2 Dixie cups and a string and gotten better. But that was it. So she used to come in. First couple weeks she owned the station. She and Paul would come in on Sunday nights. My shift ended at 10. The last newscast. They would come in and do the 10 o'clock news. Like literally 3 minutes. Oh. She got sued by Channel 10 WJR, or threatened. The union threatened to, just because we weren't a union station. We obviously were some dinky station in Rhode Island, but
Pete,
she had to stop doing the 10 o'clock news because the union.
Imagine that.
do you remember a guy named Bob Angel out of Newport?
Oh yeah, of course, Bobby. Yeah,
He just called his last game 58 years.
Great guy.
Yeah, Bob is a
58
legend in
years.
Newport.
Legendary high school basketball radio play guy, but
Yep.
football. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. No, Bob.
But
yeah.
Pete, a lot of people, because I remember, the kids want to get into broadcasting, and nowadays they don't want to go to the small stations to get experience. They want to go right up, up to the top.
Yeah, but
Rico, the small stations don't exist anymore. That's
Exactly.
the problem. Well, they're not hiring, or
Yeah, well,
they're
I'm
dying.
just saying,
They're dying.
in those days,
but they have other opportunities in digital like this.
Yeah.
Because they can do a lot of other things that I never had the opportunity to do.
Totally
But,
agree with you.
No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't trade any of it.
Yeah.
Pete, I want to go back. We've talked to Rico about this many times. Paul and I were just discussing it before we came on the air. I want your take. I want your take of what transpired in that studio with Rico Petrocelli, Glenn Ordway, Pete Sheppard, and Dick Raditz.
Wait a
first
second.
we're-
No, I want to hear him.
Well, wait a
explain.
minute. It wasn't in the
First of all, we're at
studio.
Oh, no, it was at Fenway.
Lansdowne Street. We're at Lansdowne Street.
That's
at
right.
Fenway.
It was at
Yeah,
Fenway.
the
I'm sorry.
memorabilia
Across from
shop.
Fenway.
Let's hear it, Pete.
Across from Fenway. No, it's just, and Dick came up with a point, and I didn't necessarily agree with him because I was thinking about, Guillermo Hernandez back in '87 with the Tigers when he won the MVP, or in '84, I should say. In '87, when he won the MVP as a closer. I was never one of those. I know this old school about, the pitchers have a Cy Young, the regular players have
MVP.
And I get it. And you can make an argument for both sides. I was never one. To me, Roger Clemens should have been the MVP and the Cy Young in '86 because they wouldn't have got what they did without. But that's neither here or there. So Dick the Monster brought up the fact that he didn't think Eck deserved the MVP whenever it was in '89 or whenever it was.
Yeah.
A gazillion saves, untouchable, basically. And I remember slightly disagreeing with him. I understand where he's coming from. And Eck called in. He had a couple. There's no doubt about it. He'll be the first one to admit it.
Yeah, he did.
Basically got all pissed off at Dick and started really, slamming him unnecessarily. He was sort of slurring his words. I looked at Glenn. He looked at me. I was like, oh, boy. And then Rico was awesome. Came charging in like a third man in. He's like, hey. He's like, I have a lot of respect for you, but not when you talk to this guy like that. It's just a differing opinion, blah, blah. And then X says, oh, Rico.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like I was a little piece
X
of
said,
crap.
he goes, oh, Rico. And
that
Rico
time.
says, yeah, that's me. He goes, we're down here at the ballpark. He's like, come on down to the ballpark. He said, you know where we are. We're right across the street of Lansdowne.
You know what he said? He really got me. And beside that, he said to Raditz, what the hell did you ever do?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I said,
that was bad.
whoa. I said, this guy was incredible. Plus the fact that he wasn't a one-inning pitcher. He pitched 4 innings, 3 innings, And Yankee Stadium, he pitched 7 innings. It was an extra inning game, and he pitched 7 innings. I think he struck out Mantle like 5, 6 times.
I got to tell you something.
He pitched double. I mean, he pitched
Double hand, right?
Absolutely.
He was. It just sucked that he wasn't on the dream team.
Absolutely agree with you.
That's the worst.
I was driving when that whole thing transpired.
Yeah.
I was driving in my car, and it was unbelievable. It was great radio. It was really, really.
How many
really
years
good.
ago was that? Would you say?
That must have been 2000. Had to be. It had to be 2000, 2001, around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But
Great stuff, Pete. Though that was one of the highlights. And you know something? I've always tried to find that tape. I got to get a hold of that tape.
they might
somehow.
not, they milked it for like 5-6 years.
Well, you remember Andy, our producer, Rico? Remember Andy?
Yeah, I remember Andy.
Yeah.
Producer. Andy had some of that stuff saved, but it's hard. From once in a while, I have him send me what he can find. I have him send me some stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Cedric Maxwell interview. Not interview. When I was hosting one day, Glenn was off in the summer, if you can believe that. So it's myself and Steve Burton, who has the best laugh in the history of and Max. And Max goes on to tell the story about. I played this on my show. It's hysterical. It was on a story about he's 10 years old, 10 or 11 years old. His parents lied to him. He was living in Hawaii at the time. His parents lied to him, said he was going in for a tonsillectomy, and it was a circumcision. And he didn't know, except like, where's my ice cream and everything else? And he got his mom, and I don't know if she's still alive or not. We got Bessie on from Charlotte. And she was hysterical and just breaking it all down, but never ever. Maybe the funniest story of all time in all the years in radio. And I have the clip. I'll send it to you
Please
sometime.
do. All right, listen. Pete's in the house. Pete Sheppard's in the house. Paul's in the house. We're going to take a quick break. For our viewers and listeners, we're going to be all over the place today, okay? We're talking cards. We're going to talk a little bit about PB Collectibles. But, Pete, we're going to talk some Boston sports.
Yeah, it was interesting
And your
experiences, things that happened. There was never a dull moment with the Red Sox, no matter going back when I played, and even now,
We're going to talk about that.
But especially then.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. It's a Gax blast from the past.
I can't wait.
Hey, go easy. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
For more than 30 years, Robert Edward Auctions has been the industry leader when it comes to helping you realize the most money for your baseball cards and sports memorabilia. In addition to their unparalleled reputation for honesty and integrity, they reach the largest number of bidders in the business and offer lower seller's fees, as well as generous cash advances up front on your valuable material. Contact them today at 908-226-9900. That's 908-226-9900 or at robertedwardauction.com.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and Pete Sheppard's in the house with us. Paul Borges from PB Collectibles. Shep, we're really happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here. This is fantastic.
All right, listen, it is time right now. No, forget it.
Oh.
It is time right now.
I'm invisible.
For a Gax Blast from the Past, brought to us each week by this gentleman right over here,
Yes.
Paul Borges and PB Collectibles, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectibles.com to find that special card or piece of memorabilia. Today, we are honoring a guy to me
guy.
personally that was like my father, and you were very good friends with him.
Yeah, well,
We're going into the 70th anniversary of him winning the undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
You know, he didn't like you. You think
I know he
did.
didn't. But this is a little piece that I've always had in my archives. And this is the night. And keep this in mind.
I will.
Tony DeMarco, when he won the welterweight championship, think about this. He walked from his house in the North End to the Boston Garden. Walked for the championship fight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Honest to
Well,
God.
it's not like he had to take a limo to go 2 blocks.
Exactly. So
But they do now.
this is the last. I want you to look at how many punches he threw at Johnny Saxton. This is the last round of the TKO of Tony DeMarco winning the welterweight championship at the Boston Garden. Now, it's a little grainy because they had some issues with the camera, but let's run it.
That's all right. Gax.
Fight. Johnny Saxton, the champion, defends his title against Tony DeMarco in Boston Gardens. Saxton to the right of your screen, DeMarco to the left. After photographing this fight, we found out later that Knockout's mezzanine camera had a crack in the lens, but the action was so spectacular that we didn't want Knockout fans to miss it. Saxton won his championship 5 months ago from Kit Gavilan. DeMarco, #1 challenger and a terrific puncher, has scored 28 knockouts. Now in round 4, the action is furious, with DeMarco staying right in there. Saxton has the reach over DeMarco, but this doesn't seem to bother DeMarco, who is fiercely determined.
Watch this.
Here in round 14, DeMarco is in full control. He punches from all angles, never allowing Saxton to get an attack underway. The champion,
Watch how many
Saxton,
shots he hits
refuses
him
to
with.
go down. A true champion goes out this way, but we don't
look at
know
this.
what's keeping him up. It appears to be
amazing.
just a question of time.
They
before
should have stopped
DeMarco
this
ends
fight.
it.
An iron chin.
Watch this. 24 consecutive shots to the head.
Oh, man. It's
DeMarco finally puts the champion
Watch.
down.
Now, this is nothing.
This is crazy.
He should have stopped the fight
Oh,
then.
of course.
Now watch this.
Saxton gets up, only to be met by
Tony
swarms
was
of DeMarco
yelling for him.
punches thrown from all angles in a wild demonstration of fighting fury. DeMarco relentlessly hits Saxton.
How can you not stop that fight?
The champion is completely helpless. Saxton is taking too much punishment, unable to defend himself, and the referee stops the fight.
about time.
There's a wild scene as Tony DeMarco wins the
Look at
welterweight
Saxton. He's
championship
still
of the
up,
world
bouncing
from a
around.
courageous Johnny Saxton. And you saw a knockout.
Now, Johnny,
That's amazing.
Johnny
Wow.
had a couple more fights after that, but he was never the same. And Tony told me a zillion times he was yelling, "Stop the fight! Stop the fight!" to the referee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the 14th round, if I remember.
It was.
Yeah,
It was. Yeah, it was.
I mean, they don't go 14. They don't go 15 rounds. Obviously, they go 12.
You
but
know,
I mean,
Pete. I know you can relate to what I'm saying here.
that was right out of Rocky. I mean, that was right out of Rocky.
Exactly.
I mean, as far as the headshots.
You know,
and all that.
and the backstory here is that Rip Valenti was Tony's manager, and Kama Basilio, he was lurking. Kama Basilio was a great fighter.
Oh, I remember seeing
Rip Valenti had cut a deal with Kama Basilio's group that if Tony won the fight at the Garden, 3 months later he would fight in Syracuse for the and Basilio would challenge him. Never told Tony this. So for the first 2 weeks, Tony was partying and enjoying it, and then Valenti says to him, "You're fighting in 3 weeks," and Tony says, "Yeah, we're going to fight at the Garden, right?" He says, "No, that's not the deal. You're going to fight at
in Syracuse.
At Syracuse." Now, the backstory here, Pete, is that I can tell the story now because Tony says, "After I die, I don't give a shit." Excuse my French.
I'm really offended.
It was the city of Providence. Let's put it this way: Providence at the time was kind of dictating what was going to be done. So Providence decided that Basilio was going to fight
Tony.
Tony fought Basilio. They had 2 fights, one there, and he lost on a decision. And then in the 15th round at Boston, Tony got knocked out. And it was a great fight. Voted 2 of the top 10 greatest fights of all time at that time.
Wow.
Tony, when he realized later on in his career that he did not know that he was owned personally by Providence. He didn't know that. Mm-hmm. When he found out, he got in his car, he drove to Providence, and set up an appointment with Raymond Patriarca, and walked into Patriarca's office and said, "Mr. Patriarca, I don't want to work for you. I want to be alone." And Patriarca says, "You're making a big mistake here." He said, "But I've always respected you. You're Sicilian." He says, "I'm going to let you out of your fight." And so his last 4 fights, he fought independently. The rest of the time, he had no idea that he was fighting for the mob. No idea.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They owned a lot of guys.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, my mom's family was close with. It's like her second god. She's passed now, but it's like her second godfather back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
I remember his office up on the hill.
Yep. Move your mic up, Paul. Move your mic. Hey, speaking of which, Pete, real quickly, North End Restaurants versus Federal Hill.
That's a tough one. First of all, it's not a fair question, and I'll tell you why. Because the North End restaurants outdo the Federal Hill restaurants by about 10-1.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a good point.
Oh, there's way more. But look, when I growing up, for me, it was Old Canteen back. There weren't a whole lot of selections back when I was growing up. There were enough.
Yeah.
But certainly, the Old Canteen. You're either an Old Canteen person or next door was it? What do you call it? I like them both. What was next? With the big rivalry that they had? Oh, for God's sake!
I don't know.
Mediterranean?
No, not that wasn't even there yet. Oh shit! What is it? But anyway, we were Old Canteen people. Of course, Caserta pizza. which was unlike
Angelo's. Angelo's?
No, not Angelo's. Not
No,
Angelo's.
but I mean, I know Angelo's is not a fancy, but it's a great little stop.
Oh yeah. And those are the best places. In the North
Cantina.
End,
I used to go there.
You?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You were in Rhode Island.
No, the Cantina in Boston.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, my friend Fiore owned Fiore's on Hanover, which I loved. Ray Bork plays Tresca. But I mean, I like, there's so many. I liked the Daily Catch. It could only sit about 15 people.
Four people.
Oh,
in there.
it's so
Hanover
food is
Street.
good.
It's great. My friend Nick Verano and all, all his restaurants are fantastic. And then my friend Jen Royal, who owns Table. She's
I've heard good stuff about that. So there's some good
great.
ones.
Yeah, she's sort of a semi-celebrity. She's a celebrity chef too, and she'll be the first to tell you. She's a piece of work. She's plenty.
Steve.
3 bulldogs, and she's the only one. She'll tell you she's lost every single cooking competition on TV, but close. Always good.
Listen, go ahead.
No, I want to ask him. Do you ever have a desire to do play-by-play in the big leagues?
That's Rico. When I first wanted to get in this business, I used to turn my desk around in my room in Narragansett, in front of the TV, mostly during Bruin season, but sometimes I would do it during Bruin season. Have a notebook. I would have another radio with Bob Wilson in my ear and my headset. I would talk into a microphone. The only reason I had Bob, and not because I didn't know the players, is I used to have the rosters anyway, even though it was tough to get. But just so you could watch it on Channel 38 and hearing the line changes, so I knew. I would have another tape recorder. This is how sick I was. Have a looped fans cheering, and as the play got. It's like Middleton comes up the ice. I would raise the volume so it sounded and here comes Catherine Krushelniski and blah, blah, and I would do the whole thing. That's all I wanted to do when I started. It was do play by play. I would have I used to always do Monday Night Baseball. I'd sit there by myself. Do Monday Night Baseball or Red Sox game. But a lot of times I did Monday Night Baseball. Don't ask me why. And I'd be up in my room and I'd have, I'd get the starting lineups from ABC and Howard Cosell. And I'd say, okay. And then I always had a scorebook. So I would just did the same thing, had the fans, although you can't.
Actually, that's a good way to learn, though.
Oh, yeah. My dad taught me how to score when I was 7. So it was.
Now, you did play-by-play.
Yes. I did, 3 innings and 79 with Ken.
With Coleman.
With Ken Coleman.
Yeah.
So you would do the middle 3 innings?
Yeah.
And how long did you do that for?
1 year.
But didn't you do some play-by-play after in Pawtucket too? No, after you managed.
Yeah. No, I was a commentator. I did USA cable with Jim Woods.
Jimmy Woods was great.
Jim Woods was great. Was a great announcer. But here's the thing: the wind would blow this way, and I was here, and he's smoking. And by the 5th inning, I'm getting sick as a dog.
but I was fortunate. I did a lot of great high school hockey play-by-play between, when I graduated high school and then my first couple of jobs in Rhode Island. We were lucky enough. We did all the Hendricken and Mount St. Charles, LaSalle, Tollgate. Great, unbelievable hockey. Not realizing how many pros were actually on the ice during all these games, and eventually I did CCRI basketball with Coach Mullen. Was great. Back in those years. They had one of the best junior college basketball teams in the country.
Pete, I got to tell you something.
With my legend John Parenti, my friend John Parenti, who's my absolute mentor, who I'd never would have gotten as far without his tutelage. Great guy, works at WKRI, still does stuff, and Johnson and Wales. So, I mean, I have a lot of people, but that's all I wanted to do. And then I found out talk show hosts make a lot more money.
There you go. But, I got to tell you something, Pete. All kidding aside, I was teasing about Bishop Hendricken because when I was a kid, I grew up in Lawrence, and every year we used to skip school. They would have the New England Catholic basketball tournament. And Bishop Hendricken would be there every year. And I'm talking, there were some unbelievable games. Pete, I remember, I don't know if it was, I think they lost to Catholic Memorial in the semifinals that one year. But that was the year that Catholic Memorial had one of the guys, Franny Costello, who went on to play for Providence.
Yeah, well, when I was in 8th grade, the year before I went to Hendricken in 1979 in the Boston Shootout, we played Patrick Ewing's team in the finals.
Cambridge,
lost by a bucket. Wow. To that team.
Do you remember a friend of mine? He did the play-by-play for the Paw Sox. Steve Hyder.
Oh yeah. I never met him, but I know that. Yeah, I know him.
Steve passed away this past September.
That's too bad. There was a time when I worked at WKRI. It was my second job, and I did sports and news and lots of play-by-play. Got $15 a game, by the way, $15 a game. But we were also the flagship station for the Paw Sox back then. Gary Cohen was doing the games.
Oh yeah.
Or he went to the Mets. So he leaves to go to the Mets. So now, Mr. Candor and everything, the late great owner of the Paw Sox. So Luna, my Scotty Terrier, is like, okay, we're gonna get two people this time. They'd already had a play-by-play guy in mind to replace, and I forget who it was at the time. And then they're like, Pete, well, you can, the deal was I was going to be doing color. That gig paid $14,000. So right before we're ready to go to Scranton, about 2 days before we're ready to go to Scranton, open up the season, they call me up and say, we can't afford you. We can only put one person in the booth. So I was sort of crushed, but
that stuff happens, man.
It's broadcasting.
Keep going.
Of course, you got it. Yeah. Paul, did you play any sports in high school?
Yeah, baseball, basketball.
You did?
Yeah. Lefty.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
This hat. This is the cheapest freaking hat I've ever worn in my life. All right? No, seriously. I can use this as a fishing net.
He got it for nothing. He got it for nothing.
Thanks, Rick.
He's complaining. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Can you kick it up a little bit?
Yeah, that's a nice hat.
It's a really nice embroidery on that.
Really?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
Unbelievable.
All right, Pete, I want to ask you, we had some great Red Sox memories, some great 67, 75, what, 2004, 86.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mic. What is your favorite Red Sox moment?
Well, as I told Rico on my show last week, spring training of 67, I was born on March 26th, Easter Sunday of 67, so I will take credit for the Impossible Dream Team. I'm Roman Catholic, and being born on Easter Sunday, which has only happened 3 times since. My mom used to treat it. Christ for coming back. So I take credit for that. No, I mean, 75, I told Rico this. When I was 8 years old in 75 and having to sneak out of bed, my dad let me stay up till 9:30, obviously not even close in that game, 12 innings. But I went up the front stairs to my bedroom, snuck back. We had decent-sized house. Back to downstairs and into the library. Shut the door. My mom was already asleep. My sister, Andrew, was asleep. And I just sat there trying to yell into a pillow like every single
That was
pitch.
unbelievable.
That's awesome.
He goes on base. Bernie hits the home run. I'm going fucking crazy. I'm going crazy. Swearing into the pillow. 8 years old. My parents did swear. I had that potty mouth from the get-go. Finally, when Fisk hit the home run, I lost it, and my dad came running in. He didn't yell at me; he just picked me up, swung me around, and
that was an unbelievable night.
Oh, it was great.
I mean, you were there.
One of the great games.
We have everybody like. If you ask people where were you that night, if you're a Red Sox fan, he can tell his story. I can tell a story. I was in Maine. Paul, you could tell a story.
Yep.
And you were in the freaking dugout.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
when he
the number one had to be, though, in 2004. We were in St. Louis, and as the game was going on, the Red Sox were ahead in game 4, and the Cardinals fans were great, and and the administration was great. They let all the Red Sox fans into Busch Stadium around the 8th inning.
I did not know that.
Right when they knew they were going to clinch it, and everybody was congratulating Red Sox fans. St. Louis fans were great.
St. Louis fans.
Not St. Louis, they're great baseball fans. But being on the field when they won and, being one of the first people just out of coincidence to shake Terry Francona's hand.
Oh, man, that's
His
cool.
wife at the time was the only one there hugging him. And then I was right there.
Very
And
cool.
I stood on home plate and called my father, who was watching the game. I still get emotional. And I was bawling my head off. I said, can you believe in my lifetime?
That's so cool.
Dad, grandpa, and everything else. And to sit there, and I was like, can you? And there was no camera phones back then. I'm like, can you believe this? And the other one was when, and also World Series Game 1, I got ticket. They gave me, I didn't beg. I asked our general manager at the time, please. I said, let me do one thing for my dad. He hasn't been to Fenway in a long time. Let me take him to this World Series game. So I got the tickets, and we went to Cask and Flagon early on to watch the Patriots beat the Jets.
Awesome.
Watch across the street with my dad and brother-in-law, and my dad got to see Schilling throw a masterpiece, and they clobbered St. Louis in the first game. It was like 12-2, whatever it was.
Real quickly, Pete, my dad passed away in 1996. Rabid Red Sox fan.
Yep.
And never saw them win a championship. He was born in 1922. With that being said, it's like what you're saying. When they won that championship, the next morning, I got in my car. I drove to the shop on Jersey Street.
Yeah.
It was Twins at the time.
Right.
And I bought a pennant, a championship pennant, and I drove from there to the cemetery.
Exactly, yeah.
And I put it in the cemetery on his grave.
Yeah.
But you should have seen what I saw for Red Sox championship flags engraved all over the cemetery.
Yeah, that's very
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We have one more segment with Pete Sheppard and with Paul Borges. We come back on deck with Rico. That's a question we asked Rico that somebody sends us. This is a pretty good question. Hang in there.
Briefs.
Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you are a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
That's right. Listen, go to petrosellimkt.com. He's got all the products there and great prices, embroidery, and all that stuff. And he's got to take care of his father. He's the oldest of my 4 sons, and the old man is getting older.
I don't want to hear that.
No, come on.
I say this every week, Pete. This is a pen that one of our sponsors gave us, Memory Lane
Auctions. Down?
Yeah, but we've had this. Do you think Petroselli Marketing would give me a goddamn Petroselli pen? No shot. No shot.
But wait a second. Rico's got a koozie under the desk.
All right, it's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us each week by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. Yes. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service.
Number 6 on the roster, but number 6 in our hearts. Number 1 in our hearts. On Deck with Rico Patricelli.
Okay, today's question. Guess who submitted this? Huh? An old friend of ours.
Oh, yeah?
Tom Cerrito.
Oh, down in Florida,
Tommy Cerrito.
Yeah.
And this is a good question.
Is it?
He's got 2 questions. Rico.
Yes.
Why isn't the bunt used more often today? And number 2, putting your personal opinions aside, Soto or Yaz? Who do you go with? Let's answer the first question first. Why isn't the bunt used?
Here's the story on the bunt. The guy that started to not use the bunt, late innings, first and second, nobody out, wouldn't bunt. Earl Weaver of the Baltimore Hall of Fame,
really?
Great manager. Yeah, he started. In fact, he wrote a book on the Oriole Way, and he said he'd rather have a 3-run home run. Or, that type of stuff.
Then pick up one run on a bunt?
No, and make it out.
Okay.
Even if the bunt's good, he doesn't want to make it out. Okay. And from then on, the other team started doing it, and they started, and now, of course,
when you were managing,
very seldom.
When you were managing in Pawtucket, did you use it often?
Yes, I used the bunt. I wanted them to learn. Of course, most of the guys were older than me there. They sent me.
Can I ask you a question, though? Is it more, do you think, ego for, hey, I'm going to give this guy the bunt sign, and they don't, hey, I'm a good hitter, I don't need to
now, third, fourth, fifth hitters, they don't want to bunt. Of
course.
Usually they want, they're going to knock and run. You got to let them swing away, like a Judge and those guys.
Rico, remember in '88 when Joe Morgan wanted Jim to bunt?
Oh, God, yeah, that's right. Joe Morgan.
Oh, my God. I thought
Jim
it was
was,
real dug up.
What did Rice say?
No.
You kidding?
He did it.
Then he pinch hit for him one game.
All right, last question.
Yes, sir.
Soto or Yaz?
That's a lousy question. That's a lousy
Tommy Cerrito, that's a damn lousy question.
No, Tommy, when I say that, I mean, if you said somebody in Yaz's era against Yaz, it's different. But Soto's a good all-around player. He can run, and he certainly can hit. No way he was going to come to Boston with that right field. No way. He's going to the Mets. Anyway, of course, I'm biased. I would go with Yaz, he's my teammate. But Soto's a hell of a player.
He's great.
It's tough to compare eras like that.
It really is.
He likes to do it.
I love
We're
doing
going to
it.
say Ohtani. We're going to say, you want Ohtani or Babe Ruth?
No.
Right.
I know.
No, he does that.
You sound like Rico.
He thinks the old guys, could play now and all that. Some of them.
All right.
Yeah, they have the same technology and the same philosophies as. It's just so hard.
And I agree with you. I'm teasing. All right, what about our friends at the Philly show?
Well, you want the Philly show or the?
Do Tommy Rice.
No, I'm going to do the Philly show because that's a great show. Well, folks, the Philly show, in case you don't know about it, is a great, great show. East Coast Sports Marketing and Hunt Auctions are pleased to present the Philadelphia Sports Collectors Show, the Philly Show, from Friday, December 13th to Sunday, December 15th, held at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, Hall B, 100 Station Avenue, Oaks, Pennsylvania, 19456. So that's shop over 300 of your favorite hobby dealer booths on over 100,000 square feet of sports collectibles. It's heaven from the 1800s to present day. Major sports auction houses and third-party grading and authentication companies are on hand to assist your collecting needs. The Philly Show is family-friendly, and all kids 12 and under get in for free. And we want their birth certificates, too, make sure they get. Autographed guests to include Dr. J. Oh, man, one of my favorite. Julie Serving, Tim Raines, great hitter, Bartolo Colon. Oh, he was something. 10 of the Broad Street Bully Stanley Cup champions. Two-time Super Bowl champ, LaShawn McCoy, and many more. Listen, it's a great show. For more information, go to thephillyshow.com. Remember, since 1975, the Philly Show is where it all started.
All right, let's go right to Reggie.
You know what I mean? This is
come on.
You wrote a book here.
I'll be out.
Oh, this is longer, Pete. Why did you say that?
Hold on. First of all, I didn't write the freaking thing.
No, who wrote it?
Reggie.
Did he? Tom?
Some guy named AI.
Yeah, no, they talk about good guy. I want to talk to you, folks. Who else?
You talking to me? Yeah, it must be, because I'm the only one in the room.
I want to talk to you about our friend Tom Ruggi and the staff at Destiny Wealth Management.
By the way, we're going to be doing an appearance with him at the Villages.
Do I ever what do you call you?
I'm sorry.
I know we are. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. If you're a card or memorabilia collector, have you ever thought about how to manage your collections long term? Well, I certainly have. I look at my personal collection.
You are so full of crap.
And through the advice and expertise of Tom Ruggi, I've learned that you need a professional to help categorize evaluate, and eventually put a liquidation plan together with dealers or auctioneers if you or your family decides to sell your collection? I always ask that question.
Yeah, you do.
Most importantly, you need to be aware of the tax ramifications when you liquidate. Although Zap, that's him, and JM, John Mallory, a great, wonderful person, have begged me to include them when it comes time to depart with my 40th home run ball or my 67 World
Well, let's
Series
stop there
score.
for a second.
I'm going to
Why don't you consider leaving me that 40th home run ball?
Yeah, I will consider that.
All right, thank you.
So I'm going to Tom Ruggi and the Wealth Management Group, and don't forget Ruggi Wealth Management. You really should have it. Everyone should.
You really should.
We'll also handle all of your investment needs. That's Ruggi Wealth Management, the go-to company to manage your collectible decisions.
Paul, do you? I mean, obviously, you have to have huge insurance. You had a little problem at the National.
Yep, we changed some things around, so we're all set now.
So now, when you're at these shows, Paul got what was the dollar value?
About
$20,000 worth of cards stolen at one of the shows. Wow. So now what Paul does is Paul hires a hitman to be with him with a machine gun in the booth, correct?
All right. No cameras? No cameras caught the guy?
No. The camera, it was terrible. That's it's a hole. But it's all good. We're moving forward. Nothing
time.
we can do.
Big time.
Well, check him out. You never know, you know?
Yeah.
Just real quickly, Paul, business is good for you.
Business is good. We've got a lot of stuff going on, lots of things coming in, a little shop in Newport, Rhode Island.
First of all, you say a little shop. You're in the high-rent district, so I don't want to hear that.
There's no such thing as a low-rent district.
Hey, thank you.
Well, Narragansett is pretty nice, too.
Also no parking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's good, though.
Things are very good.
We're happy, yeah.
No
And
complaints.
Paul's been a great sponsor of the show. We love, we have a lot of fun. You know, you get it. You understand what we're about.
Well, it's not only that. He knows what he's doing, and can't do it without that. And what are some of the things that are selling now?
We just had some big vintage sales. We sold a Yellow Ruth. We sold Hank Aaron just in the last week. Hank Aaron rookie and a 5. So, yeah, all
Hank
good.
Aaron,
Things
what a
are
guy.
good.
I had my senior prom is on Bellevue Avenue at Rosecliff.
Hi.
I was just over at the Breakers the other day for their Christmas.
Well, excuse us.
Plumbing I
Just the other night.
That's nice.
It was very
Rico and I were at T-Bones.
It's nice. That's right. It's nice to reminisce about somebody that's with, that grew up with you. There's not too many left.
Hey, actually,
my
you're right.
friends.
Pete, I want to talk about. We got a few minutes left. We got we have 3 minutes left. I want to talk about the wine line. How cool was that, and how much work did you guys put into that?
I didn't have to do anything. I mean, that was all Andy and Brett. They would start. Andy would start doing it around 5 o'clock for the segment of 5:45. Now the show was supposed to be over at 6, and Rico knows. I can't tell you how many times Glenn could never stay on time for a break.
Right.
And we used to end around 6:15, sometimes even 6:20, depending, because it was so funny. And he would always have extra stuff. No, that's all on Andy. Yeah, that's all.
I'll tell you what, it was genius. It was genius. It was really good. Well,
and
listen.
The Wine Awards were awesome. I mean, that's what we did.
Oh, the Wine Awards. I forgot about those.
Those were great.
We went from 250 people at Davio's to 7,000 people at the Garden. It was like ridiculous.
Well, Pete, you're greatly missed up here. I think you know that. You still have
phenomenal.
I'm here. I can be. People say that. I'm like,
I know that, and
I'm right here.
That's why we got to get the word out. So people can tune in. Tell people how they can tune in via either video or audio. What do they have to do?
If you're in your car and you can't have video, then go to SR Sports Radio 102.9 The Game. Everything is on my social media, on my Facebook page, and on my Twitter account every single day. And maybe Facebook's the easiest one for those of you who don't have Twitter or X. Everything is right there. We're on. You can follow all the shows are all broadcast on my Twitter account and a whole bunch of others. They're on a whole bunch of Facebook pages, including Tampa Joe's Big Sports Bar up in Tampa, Ion TV, CSN Florida, Rumble, Kick, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, YouTube, and you can always call or text the show 727-858-6656. We're on every video platform you can possibly imagine. So. It's
Yeah.
it's great. It's
Well,
great.
we're happy
Listen,
for you.
We are very happy for you.
Outstanding.
And
It's a whole network of shows. It's not just me. I just do morning drive, but it's really, really fun. All the shows that are on it. I think you'd really.
What time do you
enjoy
go? What time are you on in the morning?
it. 7 to 10 a.m. Yep.
Pete, if you're ever come back to Boston for a visit at Rhode Island, we want to get you in the studio with us. We'll have a few laughs.
My pleasure, yeah.
And hopefully, maybe we'll see you this winter when we're down
I
there.
will.
I know you
absolutely.
will.
Absolutely.
Definitely see
Cheap
you.
bastard. Why don't you invite me?
Well, you come from the East Coast.
I'm going down to JetBlue, so yeah.
There you
You're
go.
right. You're minutes away, right?
Now I'm going to go visit Rico up in Sarasota, and
I'll come down there too. Maybe we'll go to a game.
yeah.
Don't depend on him for the tickets.
Wait a minute.
I'll get
I'll get him for nothing. I'll tell you.
All right, Pete, we're just about out of time.
Alrighty.
Pete Sheppard,
Great,
it was
Pete.
great talking
I'll
to you.
see you soon.
talking to you guys.
Paul,
Chris,
thank
probably
you so
don't
much.
get enough credit, Chrissy. I know
Thank
producers.
you.
Credit.
She does a great
Hi.
job.
They
yeah.
give me credit, but thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
With
with
that
us.
being
Not at
said,
all.
to our viewers
Thanks
and
a lot.
listeners,
Take care, Pete.
thank you all. This is year number 8. This is year number 8 for us. We are so thrilled for the support. Viewers, listeners, everybody. You guys have been great.
Yeah.
And with that being said, happy collecting.
Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.